I'm Damien at Slotcar with a Slotcar review. Today we're going to look at the Scalextric Aston Martin Vantage. We're going to put it on track and we're going to see exactly what it's like to drive. The model code for this one is C3719. It's one of 4 varieties that are currently available in this model in different liveries. Okay, so let's take it out of its box, place it on track. Certainly does look good on track. It is a smart car. So if we're going to just have a quick look and mention some of the detail, let's have a look. We've got perforated vents on the side, the bonnet's perforated, the grills here look like they're a decal applied, but that does look okay. I like the driver's names, always like the driver's names on a livery. The interior of the car, you can see the driver in there. The rest of the interior, it has some moulding to show different aspects of what would be in the rear of the car there, although it is all just dark grey plastic. Got a window wiper on there and wing mirrors. Wing mirrors in this look reasonably sturdy actually, which is nice. Now let's just have a look and see what the lights look like. Headlights at the front, brake lights at the back. The lights don't look really bright. They don't look really bright, but they are there. So overall, the detail, I mean, all the body lines, the lines between the red and the black and the white and the black there, they're very, very crisp. And all these little decals are beautifully crisp, as we generally see these days. There's a few little places where it's not perfect, and you can see that it's not especially flat, like in behind the guard here. But overall, the look of the car is impressive, and the detail's certainly good enough that on track, I mean, this is going to be a real stunner. Speaking of on track, I think it's time to do some laps and see exactly what it's like. Okay, well, 5.76 seconds that lap, so this is just a car straight out of the box. I haven't done anything, haven't touched a thing. Simply put it on track and given it a run. Feels pretty nicely balanced. As you can see, I came off there. I'll have to reach it from the other side. But aside from coming off, the driving was pretty easy, and I felt pretty comfortable to push it straight away. So, as a magnet car just to use if you don't treat your tyres or do any work, I'd say compared to other similar models, this is a pretty good track car. So now we're going to take the magnets out of the car. And we're going to see what the car runs like straight out of the box with no magnets. So it's going to involve me taking out the 4 body screws that are on the underside of the chassis. There's one. Okay, so now that the screws are out, the body will come off. Now in this car, the magnet is actually hiding right in underneath the rear axle there. So we're going to need to just pop out that rear axle. The lighting board will come out so we can get the wire out of the way, and out comes the axle. A lot of Scalextric cars now have the magnet mounted behind the motor here, and it has 2 little plastic tabs, one at the top, one at the bottom there, or one at each side, that clip over the magnet and hold it in place. And a lot of the older cars, you could just flex the chassis and those clips would come apart and the magnet would pop out. Modern cars aren't quite as easy, so what I tend to do is I get a little scalpel, little sort of craft knife, and I just run it down that tab. Let's see if I can get one so you can see, and
I just cut that little bit of plastic off. You can see through the chassis there are holes right the way through, so to get the magnet out finally, once I've taken a clip off, I just push a screwdriver through one end and that'll help pop it out. So there's our magnet. Now let's put the rear axle back in, see what the car drives like with the standard tyres untrued.
Surprisingly good to drive. It's got a little bit of a shudder, and truing the tyres up will probably make a big difference to that, but ultimately it's quite a smooth car and it's reasonably easy to drive without the magnet. Probably, compared to other similar models, it would be up there probably in the better third that I've driven as completely stock cars without the magnet and without tyres trued. It'll be interesting to see how fast we can get a lap out of it though in this condition. Eight point one seconds. That's not too bad. Eight 1.2. 8.17. 8.13. So it seems 8.1 might be the fastest I can go at this stage. But let's true the tyres and then see what happens next.
The first thing to do is to make sure that the wheels themselves are true. So we'll just give these a little tickle up. And now it's the tyres' turn.
Tyres are glued and trued. The car is essentially completely stock, apart from having had the magnet removed. Oh, it feels fast now. .3. 7.3 seconds. And I know I can do better. 7.16. 7.77. Cars like this I love because you put it on track, you don't need to do a couple of laps to warm up and get used to it. This car, for me anyway, I feel like I can drive it as soon as I put it on there. .12. I've actually done a few laps, done 20, and in a second, there we go, best lap time 7.10. So we've come down from a whole second, 8.10 before we did the tyres, down to 7.10. Now on our track, anything that can do close to 7 seconds for a standard car with a standard motor is going pretty well.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the braid off the braid plate here. I'm going to replace it with some better quality braid. This is NSR Ultra Soft braid, and it's very, very thin and nice and soft. Okay, first thing we'll do is take the original braid plate off the car. Now the old braid wire from the braid plate we're going to take off, but first I'm just going to point out how Scalextric do it. They tuck this piece, the back piece, up towards the front and then the front over it. We're not going to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the braid wire into the plate, and we're going to tuck the back piece. This is going towards the rear of the car. We're going to tuck it back, and then the front piece we're going to put back also. Doing it this way means that the car might just get that little bit deeper in the slot. That might make a difference. Recently, a couple of cars I've tested, setting it up this way has made quite a big difference from the standard arrangement. Now the brake plate goes back on. All done.
I really like this car. I'm really enjoying driving it. It's just so predictable, and you do feel like you can really drive it hard. Did I speak too soon? Possibly did. .704. .704 again. So we shaved a little bit of time off. I have had a couple of cars recently where just changing the braids has taken off almost a third of a second. Not quite as noticeable with this car, but the car's driving really quite quickly. It's still not really smooth. It's got a little bit of a shudder, and you know, I think some of it might be down to the fact that it's not sitting quite flat. And I've encountered this problem before, so I know what it is. What it is that the motor terminals in the car are touching the interior. So when you screw the body on, it flexes the chassis a little bit. And it's pretty easy to fix. If you're running with the car with the magnet, you'll never notice it, because the car will be stuck down and it won't matter. But if you take the magnet out, you will notice it. And all I did previously is that where the motor touches, where the terminal touches on the inside of the interior tray, I just sanded it back a bit. I just ground it off with a Dremel and made a little bit of space there. I'm going to do that with this car now, and we'll see if that smooths it up somewhat.
So I'm just going to use a Dremel, grind that out. You can see there I've ground out just a little bit, just for the end of my Dremel. Of course there's nothing you can see from the outside of the car. It'll go straight back on and hopefully it'll make a difference.
So now that we've taken that little bit of plastic away and everything fits together a little bit better, let's see how quick we can go. Already feels smoother. So with the magnet placed back in, remember we've got the tyres trued now and the brakes have been changed. So converting it back to a magnet car makes it really quick. 5.4 seconds I've written on the board, there's the fastest time I could achieve. That's pretty quick. Out of the box 5.72, true the tyres 5.46, got a bit of a difference there. No mag, the car with the standard tyres, no magnet, 8.1, got it down a second, down to 7.04 seconds. So that's pretty good progress.